Brian, when it comes to Washington state estate taxes, where do we rank on the scale of all 50 states?
We're number one.
Okay.
We have the worst estate tax system in the country. So the estate tax is what's paid upon your passing. So Washington State likes to get a big share of that. The exemption is very low. The exemption is only about $2.2 million. Now it may sound like a lot, but when the average house in Bellevue or Seattle is over $1 million, you think, well, gosh, you get there pretty quick, because the estate tax applies to everything you own. It's your retirement account balances, it's your cars, your sock drawer, your houses, your everything, your annuities, anything that you own that can be assigned to any value is supposed to be added up, and then if it exceeds $2.2 million approximately, state of Washington is going to reach into your estate's pocket.
Brian, is there any way that you can affect your estate tax?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you can do is move to a state without an estate tax. A lot of my clients have done that, actually. They have sizable estates. Maybe they're not sizable enough to pay the federal estate tax, but they don't want to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to the state of Washington for the money that they made over their lifetime. So they might move to the one of over 30 states that don't have an additional state estate tax. And so that's one thing there. The way you can double your exemption, though, is if you have a properly executed will or revocable living trust, and you have the trust provisions in there to essentially double the amount, meaning when the first spouse passes away, then in this case $2.2 million is put into a trust, and meaning that the surviving spouse will have an additional $2.2 million exemption when they pass away. So essentially you've got a $4.4 million you can shelter from the Washington estate tax. If you don't have a will or revocable living trust, the money from the first passing just goes to the surviving spouse, and there was no claiming of a $2.2 million exemption. And when that surviving spouse passes away, there's only the one $2.2 million. So certainly with a will or living trust, it's very important, especially if your assets, you might have used to think, well, I'm never going to be worth $2.2 million. But with the real estate market and the stock market over the last 10 years, a lot of people crept up above that, and they're going, oh my gosh, I have a taxable estate. I didn't see that coming. I just feel like a normal person, and I don't feel rich at all. And so very often, just that one step can save hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So, Brian, what are some other strategies that you might want to use to reduce your taxable estate?
Well, like I said, a lot of people don't even realize they're there, but they might have a residence and a couple rental houses, a retirement account that's grown a lot, annuities, different things. They're looking at their investments. They go, gosh, we're worth $6 million, and we're going to get nailed on this tax. So then they go hire an attorney, they get the will or living trust, and now they've brought that tax way down. Another thing they can do is gift it. So you can gift it before you pass away, and there's no clawback. The state of Washington doesn't say, oh, wait, you gave that a year before you passed away. We want that money back. Well, the feds can do that through the gift tax return, but the state cannot. So if you have, let's say in this example, a $6 million net worth, you've got the trust provisions, 4.4, you got a $1.6 million taxable estate. Well, before you pass away, you can gift some of that, maybe put some in a charitable trust and get it out of your estate that way. Maybe put it in trust for your kids and grandkids, get it out that way. There are many different ways you could reduce that amount that be taxable to the state of Washington, even if you're not subject to the higher federal estate tax. Getting out of that Washington estate tax is something that can be planned for, short of just moving out of the state before you pass away. I've made the joke to some people that are worth a lot of money but don't really want to move. Well, you start getting sick and not feeling well, that'd be the time to move if you're older and not have to pay that Washington estate tax.
Brian, thanks for telling us more about Washington state estate tax rules.